Hello, fellow Annihilators. I am the Annihilator, and welcome back to yet more Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney. This is part 14. Jesus, this might be longer than my GTA series. What? No, that never happened. What am I talking about? Anyway, let's continue. Okay, we are on the hopefully final trial of this chapter. October 20th, 10 AM. Court is now in session for the trial of Mr. Will Powers. The prosecution is ready, Your Honor. The defense is ready, Your Honor. Your Honor. I always struggle to say Your Honor for some reason when I say it fast. I can do it when I do it slow, like Your Honor. But Your Honor, like that, it's really hard to say when you do it fast. Today will be the final day of this trial. I hope both the prosecution and the defense will be able to present decisive evidence. Very well, Mr. Edgeworth, your opening statement. In yesterday's session, the defense presented us with a new theory for this case. He claims that the scene of the crime was, in fact, Studio 2. Today I will call on people present in the Studio 2 trailer that day. From their testimonies, the truth will become clear. Very well. Edgeworth seems a bit on edge today. He knows he's gonna lose. You may call your first witness, Mr. Edgeworth. Please don't be salmonella. Please don't be salmonella. Yes, Miss Vasquez. The prosecution calls Miss D. Vasquez to the stand. Miss D. Vasquez is a producer who was present in the Studio 2 trailer that day. Okay, time for a husky voice, except it's more like a whisper. We all know what's gonna happen here. Will the witness state her name and occupation? Oh wow. Oh wow. It actually worked. D. Vasquez. I am a producer for Global Studios. On the day of the murder, you were in the trailer in Studio 2. As everybody here knows, yes. I dislike needless banter. If you must pontificate. Pontificate? If you must pontificate, do it when I'm not here. I don't know that word. I'm gonna go look it up. Okay, it says here, to pontificate is to express one's opinions in a pompous and dogmatic way. He was pontificating about art and history. Yeah, I think I get it. Anyway. Very well, Miss Vasquez. Please give the court your testimony concerning the day of the murder. Nick, I know she did it. Make her pay. Right. If she's guilty, I'll catch her with her pants down, so to speak. Witness testimony, the day of the murder. I entered the trailer, a little before noon. The meeting began at 12 o'clock sharp. It ended at 4. Okay. There was to be a rehearsal afterwards, so we went to Studio 1. I was fatigued, so I had Sal take me. At 2:30, we took a 15-minute break in the meeting. Sal and I ate T-bone steaks on the table in front of the trailer. We found Hammers' body later when we all went to Studio 1. That's all. I have a question about one part of your testimony. You do? Thanks, because I don't. were fatigued, so you had Sal take you? The van. There's a van at Studio 2. There is? Oh yeah, that one. I had him take me in that. I thought it might be risky to walk, what with that monkey's head toppling over. Okay, Manella used this van to drive Vasquez to Studio 1 after the meeting in the trailer. I see. Very well, Mr. Wright, your cross-examination. This is the final battle, Nick. Let's do it. Okay, cross-examination the day of the murder. Okay, I'm not sure what this is. Okay, we know that's right. It's to be a rehearsal afterwards, so we went to Studio 1. I was fatigued, so I had Sal take me. What from? Hold on. You had Sal take you? What does that mean? It means what I just said. I had Sal take me in the Studio 2 van. Oh, alright. Okay, so that didn't really answer any questions. At 2:30 we took a 15-minute break in the meeting. We know that's right as well. Sal and I ate T-bone steaks on the table in front of the trailer. Okay, so I'm thinking that I swear in the picture before, I wish it showed it again, that there weren't any bones on the plate. And on this one, there's a bone. So I'm thinking that I present this. Objection! Ha, as thought. What? Huh? You claim you ate a T-bone steak. But I say you did not. What is this now, Mr. Wright? Look at this. It's a plate? This plate was on the table in the employee area. As you can see, a large bone has been left behind. Mr. Wright, need I remind you, it was a T-bone steak. Exactly my point. Remember, if you will, Miss Vasquez and Mr. Manella ate at a table outside the trailer. Yeah, I told you. Yeah, there were no bones left on the plates. The plates were bare. Miss Vasquez? Tell me, how can a person eat a T-bone steak and not to leave the bone? I think I know how. You didn't eat the steak. You didn't eat any steak during that break. You took your steak and threw it somewhere, like that incinerator. I don't remember there being an incinerator there. Maybe I just didn't look hard enough before. I see. Then what was Miss Vasquez doing during her break? How can you be so stupid? You're the judge, you're supposed to be smart. Can you put 2 and 2 together for me, please? Isn't it obvious, Your Honor? Meeting the Steel Samurai. She was meeting with the Steel Samurai. Order. Are you saying... Yes, Your Honor. As Miss Vasquez left the trailer to eat her steak, she ran into the Steel Samurai. And then you did it. You killed him with your own hands. Mr. Wright, isn't that a little presumptuous? Objection! What kind of stunt are you trying to pull, Wright? Let him claim what he wants. You say I did it? Yes. Fascinating. And here I was worrying that today would be as boring as all the rest. Very well. Let us have a battle of wits, you and I. Any day, Vasquez. Good luck, Nick. Okay, another testimony. Let's see. What was that murder weapon again? Oh yes, the samurai spear. Yes? I am, as you can see, a woman of petite stature. How can I possibly use that heavy spear as a weapon? I don't think you could have. I think you would have had a great deal of difficulty using that as a weapon. Pretty much anyone would. You see? Yes. However, that has no bearing on this case. It doesn't? Meaning, the samurai spear was not the murder weapon? It wasn't? What? That is a bit of a leap in judgment. What is the meaning of this? The spear was found lying next to the victim's body. I have proof, Your Honor. I can prove that the samurai spear was not used as the murder weapon. I do? I swear I said sometime before in one of the earlier episodes of this chapter that the samurai spear couldn't have been used as the murder weapon because even with duct tape, it would still break. It wouldn't be a good murder weapon. I'm going to present next. I present my proof, the so-called murder weapon. But that is the murder weapon. Not so fast. Remember that the spear broke during the morning action scene run-through. But someone fixed the spear. It was the security lady. She fixed it with duct tape. Now, tell me, how is it possible for someone to stab a man who is wearing a thick costume with this through the chest? Order, order. Mr. Wright, what are you driving at? Think about what you're... Silence. I'm tired. I'm the one testifying here, and I will be heard. Are you quite sane? Are you even aware of what you're saying? If the samurai spear was not the murder weapon, then pray tell, what was? How was Hammer killed? Well, Mr. Wright, can you tell us what weapon was used to kill Mr. Hammer? Can I? I was gonna say the van there for a second. But no, that wouldn't work. Or maybe it was. No, I can't tell you. Of course. Can the antics, right? I have to agree, Mr. Wright. At least pretend that you think you might know. Heck, notice I'll think before speaking. Tough crowd. Well, Mr. Wright, can you tell us what the weapon was used to kill Mr. Hammer? But I don't know. Okay, let's narrow this down. This isn't important. Time of death. Well, no, because that doesn't answer the question. I was going to say I could say that and say that it's wrong, but no, that wouldn't really work. That doesn't do anything for us. I don't think that does anything. That doesn't do it. No. No, I don't think that's it. No. No. I think I've figured it out. It's this. It's the gate. Or the fence or whatever. Look at this photo. What is this? Why, that's Jack Hammer standing at the top of the stairs. Order, order. He always stutters his O on the first order. I noticed that. If I cannot have order, this trial will be suspended. And what else is being suspended? This episode, because we are having a little intermission for a little bit of an announcement. So, I think this might be the final episode of Phoenix Wright. Now, I know what you're thinking. There's still plenty more of this game as well as the other 2 games that I have. But to be quite honest, I'm getting quite sick of this game. It's a bit repetitive, and, well, just all the glitches that have been going on. It's really annoying. And it's really hard to record, and I prefer editing everything else. So I think this series is gonna take a bit of a hiatus. I might bring it back in the future. I might do an episode every now and again, or I might just play this in my spare time. I don't know, but I'm not going to be playing this on the channel as much, if at all. So yeah, I'm gonna finish chapter 3, I think we're on right now, and then that's it, because I've got plenty of other series in mind, like The Binding of Isaac, which I haven't played, Polybridge 2, because I want to play that. I also have a Minecraft series in mind, so yeah, we'll have to see what I play next. But yeah, that's the announcement, and let's get back to the game. Mr. Wright, what is this all about? This photograph is from 5 years ago. There was an unfortunate accident at Global Studios. This is a photo of that very accident. Not a word of this was leaked to the outside. It was a close-kept secret at the studios. What does this have to do with the current case? Mr. Edgeworth, you still can't see it? See the fallen man in this photo? See how the fence post pierced him through the chest? And also, that would explain why the autopsy report says pierced through the chest by a spear, because the fence post seems a bit like a spear. So it would be hard to tell the difference. What? Are you saying? Yes. What's happened 5 years ago? Has happened again. That was a long pause. Mr. Wright, continue. It's 2:30 on the day of the murder. Miss D. Vasquez meets Jack Hammer outside the Studio 2 trailer. Then she did it. She pushed Mr. Hammer off the stairs onto the fence. It seems we're getting awfully close to the truth. And it's only been like, what, 20 minutes? This is the shortest trial ever. Just like Mr. Hammer had himself done 5 years ago. Though whether she did it on purpose or by accident, I cannot say. In other words, the victim, Mr. Hammer, he died in the same way that he caused another man to die. 5 years ago. Precisely. Ironic, isn't it? Ho ho. Very creative, Mr. Wright. I could use a man like you on my script writing staff. You deny that what I say is true? Mr. Wright, let's say for the sake of argument that Hammer died at the trailer, as you say. Yet the body was found at Studio One, was it not? And in the evil magistrate's costume, no less. Are you then claiming that I carried the body to Studio One and returned to the trailer, all in the space of a 15-minute break? How could I have disposed of the body? How could you have? The break in the meeting at the trailer lasted 15 minutes, from 2:30 to 2:45. Also, how did he clean the blood off of the fence post? Could Jack Hammer have been pushed off the stairs to his death, then carried to Studio One and placed inside his costume? There wasn't enough time. Indeed. Well, Mr. Wright, how could she have dealt with the body? Oh, I know what happened. There's a reason that we got that van in the court record. Where is it? It is here. She put him in the van, and then she went to Studio One in the van, and that's that. That's the mystery solved. So she had another way. What if she had another way to carry the body, other than with her own hands? For instance... Actually, for that matter, there was no need for her to do the deed in 15 minutes. Huh? And there was a way for you to carry that body. Interesting, let's hear it then. Mr. Wright, please show us how she carried the body. The van. Take that! Miss Vasquez, you carried the body to Studio One, and you used the studio van to do it. Recall your testimony. There was to be a rehearsal afterwards, so we went to Studio One. I was fatigued, so I had Sal take me. There was a van there, right? I had Sal drive me. You used the van to carry the body to Studio One. Then, before everyone else got there, you put the body into the magistrate costume.
Objection!
Hold on, Wright. Don't forget it was Salmonella that drove the van. Are you suggesting that Mr. Manella was a conspirator? Maybe or maybe not. I'm not sure. I'm gonna say he was. Of course, Salmonella has to be a conspirator. The body had to be placed in the van and put into the costume. There's no way Miss Vasquez could have done that alone. Also, don't forget that they had to dispose of the Steel Samurai costume. They had to because it was covered in Mr. Hammer's blood. They probably burned it in that small incinerator. Well, Miss Vasquez, shall I continue? No need. You're smarter than you look, Mr. Wright. I lose, you win. It was fun. I win? At least she's not a sore loser. So what happens next? Don't. Me? I don't know what sound that makes. Don't you have anything to say? What would you like me to say? Huh? I lost something like that? She did say that. I just said that. Wait, so you mean D. Vasquez? So it was you? You killed Jack Hammer? Now I'm not so sure that it was her. Who can say? Huh? Are you sure I did? Mr. Wright, we just engaged in a battle of wits, and the result of that battle, you proved the possibility that I murdered Hammer. Right, but that is only a possibility. Proof is another thing altogether. You lack decisive proof, Mr. Wright. Of course, it all comes down to decisive proof. What? Order. Mr. Edgeworth, your thoughts? Of course, it's as the witness says. Certainly, it does seem very likely she did it, but, there's no proof. Edgeworth isn't sure. Well, I came here as a witness today. If you've no more questions, I'll be leaving. Look, what do I do now? No further questions. Yes, Mr. Wright. I was hoping I'd come up with a question while pounding on my desk. I didn't. You have my sympathies. Damn. To come so far only to fail. As it seems there are no further questions, I'd like to end the cross-examination of the witness, Miss Vasquez.
Objection!
Yes, Mr. Edgeworth. I was hoping to come up with a question while I was objecting, Your Honor. I didn't. I see. Very well.
Objection!
Your Honor, I request that the witness testify again. You are the prosecutor, are you not? Why are you badgering me? I'm your witness. I just want to hear your testimony again. Does this make any sense to you, Your Honor? I don't see that we have anything to gain by repeating the last several minutes. Mr. Edgeworth, I too see little point in making Miss Vasquez repeat herself. What exactly did you want her to testify about? Well, yes, indeed, verily, I say. Go! I want to hear about what happened after they found the body. After they found the body? Very well. The witness will testify to the court concerning this matter. Nick, why did Edgeworth... Who knows? He probably realized she did it too. But, wasn't he the one who said he always gets a guilty verdict? After all that. Edgeworth. Okay, after finding the body. I'm not gonna do a voice. I was with Sal and Oldbag, the security lady, when we found the body. The assistant was there too. Only Powers was absent. I immediately called the police. Then Powers showed up. The security lady, Oldbag, was quite agitated, pointing at Powers, saying he did it. I asked to be left out of the proceedings. I went back to the trailer to get my script and direction notes. Then I went home. I see no issues raised by this testimony. Mr. Wright, your cross-examination? Okay, Nick, we're close, real close. She may be acting tough now, but if you put her on the spot, she's sure to falter. Find the key you need and twist the truth out of her, Nick. Right. Okay, cross-examination after finding the body. I went back to the trailer. Why didn't you take them in the first place?
Hold it!
That's our decisive evidence. The script in your direction notes, because if she didn't know that there was a body there, then she would have taken the notes and stuff so that they could do the rehearsal. Yes, they're quite valuable. It wouldn't do to have them stolen. No, I guess not. Press harder. Wait a second. I thought you came to Studio 1 for a rehearsal. Why didn't you bring your script and notes? Exactly my reasoning. Well, I was under the impression that we wouldn't be able to rehearse anything. Why? Because I murdered the guy. There was a murder after all. Who could think of rehearsing after that? No, but that was before. Nobody knew there was a murder beforehand. Very well, Miss Vasquez, please continue. Huh? What? That makes no sense. Your Honor, I have an objection to the witness's last statement. But you're the prosecution. Huh? Think. Miss Vasquez said she didn't bring the script because there wouldn't be a rehearsal. Don't you see what that means? She would have had to know about the murder before going to Studio 1. I thought that was quite obvious. Order, order. Mr. Edgeworth. What you have just said is a reasonable observation. However, I find it hard to understand why the prosecution would make such a move. Or are you thinking of a career change to defense? I appreciate the concern, Your Honor. I will stand by my statement, however, regardless of how the court sees my role here. Now, Miss Vasquez, do you have an explanation? I can't believe Edgeworth is helping me. Humph. So the prosecution is in cahoots with the defense. What kind of court is this? No matter. I think you misunderstood me. I had a perfectly good reason to believe there would be no rehearsal. Very well, the witness will change her testimony to reflect this reason. I knew that Hammer was injured and couldn't do any action scenes, so I left them behind. Wasn't it the other one that was injured? What can prove that? This.
Objection!
Mr. Powers was the one who was injured. You knew that Hammer was injured? Don't you think that's a little funny? I mean, it was the Steel Samurai who was injured. It was Will Powers. What? Mr. Wright, explain yourself. Does it even need explaining? Why are you so dumb? Yes, Mr. Hammer is dragging his leg in this photo. But that's because he was pretending to be Mr. Powers. Pretending? One person was injured in the run-through that morning. That person was Mr. Powers, not Mr. Hammer. Now, why did you think it was Mr. Hammer who was injured? I already said it. It was Sal who told me. That's right, you must have gotten it wrong. I think not. Mr. Manella was at the run-through that morning. He would have known it was Mr. Powers who was injured. He saw it happen. Why would he tell you the wrong person? Miss Vasquez, you saw Hammer limping. Actually, you didn't hear anything from Mr. Manella. You saw Mr. Hammer limping with your own eyes. Yes, but wasn't it Mr. Powers who was injured? Yes, but remember, Mr. Hammer was dragging his leg too. He was pretending to be Mr. Powers. Ah. And when he And when was he doing this? Well, would have to been after he put on the Steel Samurai costume and went to Studio 2, where he was murdered. Exactly. Miss Vasquez, you met him, didn't you? You saw the Steel Samurai limping. And Mr. Hammer was in that Steel Samurai suit. That's why you were confused. That's why you thought it was Mr. Hammer who had been injured that morning. Order. Order. I will have order. Witness. Can you refute this claim? That was a great rebuttal there, Miss Vasquez. Yeah, let's see you sneak out of this one, Vasquez. Don't jinx it. Very well. I have a question for you. Look. Why are the real killers always so persistent? Why in the world would I want Mr. Hammer dead? I don't know. Yes, he'd fallen on hard times, but he was a star. I had nothing to gain from his death. Nothing. Yes, she would need a motive. Why would she have killed the victim? If there is a reason, it is unclear to this court. Does the defense have anything to say on the matter? In other words, can you prove she had a motive? Well, every other time I've said, of course I can't prove it. Well, that's not gone well, so... What proof do I have? Well, this photo is the only evidence that I have that links Hammer and Vasquez. So I'm going to present this. This is my proof. This is the photo from before. This photo reveals the motive in this murder. I'm right, aren't I, Miss Vasquez? Humph. 5 years ago, Mr. Hammer was at the height of his fame. With D. Vasquez's help, a terrible accident was swept under the carpet. Ladies and gentlemen, the case currently up for trial. It began on that day 5 years ago. Ironically enough, that accident precipitated Mr. Hammer's fall. His fall from stardom. His guilt weighed him down, no doubt. However, oh, sorry. I was doing Mr. Edgeworth's voice for Phoenix. It's almost like they're melding into one person. You, D. Vasquez, used Mr. Hammer. You made him work for you for petty change. Bringing us to the present day, and Mr. Hammer's last role as the evil magistrate. Yes, undoubtedly it was a constant source of shame for the ex-star. One moment, Mr. Wright. We are talking about motives here, yet you have only talked about Mr. Hammer. It almost seems as if it was Mr. Hammer who had killed D. Vasquez, not the other way around. What motive would Miss Vasquez have? Now that is a very interesting claim there, Mr. Judge. Because maybe Hammer was trying to kill Miss Vasquez. And then it was self-defense? Yes, that's right. According to what you say, I would have no reason to kill Hammer. He was a good source of income for me. And I never get rid of useful men. It's a policy of mine. Mr. Wright, please explain Miss Vasquez's motive for the murder. I'm gonna say she had no motive. She had no motive, Your Honour. Please don't say that's just a petty excuse or whatever. What's that now? It was Mr. Hammer who was out for blood. All Miss Vasquez did was push him off the stairs in self-defense. What's that now? It's simple. Mr. Hammer was intending to kill Miss Vasquez. What? What? Your Honour, Jack Hammer drugged Mr. Power with sleeping pills. Jack Hammer snuck into the dressing room and stole the Steel Samurai costume. Jack Hammer wore the costume to fool the security lady into thinking he was Powers. Then Jack Hammer made his way to the trailer. And for what purpose, you ask? To kill D. Vasquez, who had so cruelly taken advantage of him all those years. What a waste of a pipe. So you did do it, didn't you? Yes. I am guilty. It was me. Someone call an ambulance. There's blood everywhere. We're too late. Ah, Miss Vasquez. What? What happened here? Manuel? Manuel fell from the trailer stairs. Manuel. Miss Vasquez, please try to remain calm. No, how could this? It was an accident. Mr. Hammer was doing an action scene, and... No, Manuel! Don't touch him, Miss Vasquez. No! Please don't die. Please. Congratulations, Mr. Wright. I lose, again. We've got to give her voice. It doesn't matter now, though. I think the trial is coming to an end. Mr. Edgeworth, where's D. Vasquez? In the waiting lobby, Your Honour, as calm and collected as ever. I see. Mr. Wright. Yes, Your Honour? It appears you have brought about yet another miracle. Aye, thank you, Your Honour. I think not, Your Honour. Will Powers was innocent. That he should be found so is only natural, not a miracle. Yes, you're right. Very well. This court finds the defendant, Mr. Will Powers, not guilty. Yay. That is all. This court is adjourned. I don't know what to say. Oh, what's his voice? It's a silly voice. I can't remember his voice. Thank you so much. That's the one. I'm just glad you're okay. Yes, but it's sad. I know now that Mr. Hammer stole my costume. It's bad enough that he wanted to kill Miss Vasquez, but to think that he had tried to frame me for the murder, it makes me sad. Tell me why, Mr. Wright. Huh? Tell me, why did Mr. Hammer want to blame me? Who knows? I'm going to show evidence because I don't know is probably the wrong answer. I'm thinking that maybe Hammer was jealous of this or something. It's because you are the Steel Samurai. because I was the Steel Samurai? Mr. Hammer was a big star for once. But he was reduced to acting in a kids' show, and as the villain to boot. The kids loved the Steel Samurai, and so he hated you. I think I understand. He could have just told me. I would have changed places with him any time. I think you're missing the point. Thank you. I'm just glad it's all over. So am I. Congratulations, WP. Oh, hehehe. Thanks to you, I'll be able to don the Steel Samurai outfit once more. It was incinerated, wasn't it? I can't wait to get back into that sweaty costume and... Huh? Is something wrong? No, of course not. Ah. Nick, Edgeworth. Oh. Say something, Wright. I'm not good at small talk. Huh? What? That was too bad, Edgeworth. You don't waste any time gloating, do you? No, I really want to thank you. Vasquez would have gotten away if you hadn't stepped in. Pleased to meet you, I'm Powers. Edgeworth. I'm a big fan of your work, Mr. Powers. That must be why he... Oh, okay, or he lied. But if he isn't lying, then maybe that's why he switched to the defensist side. Right. I must say, I hadn't expected to meet you again after all these years. Huh? Meet again? However, in retrospect, it would have been better had we not met. Thanks to you, I am saddled with unnecessary feelings. Unnecessary feelings? Yes, unease and uncertainty. Aren't those kind of necessary? They only serve to get in my way. You listen to me, Phoenix Wright. Don't ever show your face in front of me again. That's what I came here to tell you. Okay. I'm thinking that I'm thinking that we might meet again, because Mr. Edgeworth is all over the internet, so I think he's going to be the main prosecutor person. Mr. Wright, was that guy your friend? What? Friends? As if. They're rivals, right, Nick? For now we are, I guess. Huh? Why do I get the feeling I'm missing something? Come on, Nick, tell me, what's the deal with you and Edgeworth? And so the curtain closed on another trial. I caused quite a stir by revealing that accident from 5 years ago. It was the talk of the town. Thankfully, Global Studios rethought its programming change. They went back to making kids' shows again. Nick, this is it. The new show starts today. You're gonna watch it with me, right? I'll admit, I was kind of surprised. I didn't think they'd seriously go through with it. You have to buy trading cards too, okay? We have to trade with Cody and that assistant. Fine, I'll do it. Isn't it great that WP gets to play the lead again? I wonder if they'll show his real face this time. I dunno. I don't think the world is ready for the real Will Powers. Plus, I don't think a man would suit that role. The end. Okay, turnabout goodbyes. Except we're not going to play turnabout goodbyes, because we're going to say goodbye to the series. For now. Or forever, depending on how I feel. So, don't forget to annihilate that like, share and subscribe button. And if you want to see more like this, then there's probably not going to be any more. But if you're like 5 years in the future, then I might have done some kind of throwback series. So I'll see you in the next video, if there is one. Bye!